Your man said Boogie here, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank you guys for being about the business today of what we have in store for you. It's a wonderful opportunity that we have here, and we are thankful for these guys because they are going to talk to us about their journey, their road on this path of life where some people have made little diversions and they have to recover from them diversions. And these are cats that are on that path, on that recovery, the EDM Representers. You know, we want to talk to them a little bit about what their journey was, how they got here today, and where they see themselves going, because there's a future for all of us, amen? Amen. And then we just want to present that to the people so that way everybody get a chance to know who you are. We're going to start with Mike. Just introduce yourself.
I'm Mike. I'm in recovery. Been a long journey, man. Marriage is beautiful, each and every day.
All right.
The most important thing, God. You know, every morning I get on my knees, I thank Him for letting me wake up at the end of the day. You know, without Him, I won't be nowhere. I'll be lost in the wilderness. You know.
And you could go on too, Angela.
Hi, my name is Angela. I am in recovery, and it was a long journey for me. So I'm in recovery, and Everyday Miracles saved first walked into Everyday Miracles, and now I'm around a lot of good people. I have friends today, and I'm doing very well for my recovery.
Yeah. All right, pass it to Brendan.
Hey, how you doing, y'all? My name is Brendan Scott Taylor. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. And first and foremost, I want to give all praises to my higher power, who I choose to call God. Without Him in my life, man, I'm nothing. You know, I got caught up in the struggle. You know, I had lost my brother a while back. You know, he died in my arms, and I just lost it. I became numb for a good 15 years, and it was a heavy road, you know, that I had to go through. But I'm here to talk about it. Just, you know, whatever I can say to encourage somebody, I'm here.
All right, we're going to start with you then, D. One of the things that happens in this road to recovery is introduction. How were you introduced to this, where the madness that created this? When were you introduced to it, and who's around you when you was doing it, when you was first introduced to this?
When you say that, you're talking about as far as introduced to recovery part?
No, the drama.
It
started on the drama. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the stuff that's, when were you introduced?
Okay, all right.
That's the introduction.
So here's the introduction. From Boston, Massachusetts. I grew up in Grove Hall. You know, matter of fact, I was born in Grove Hall. And I was living on Brunswick Street at the time. And I seen a lot of examples of black power, they called it back then. You know, the Panthers, the Mau Mau's. I seen a lot of demonstrations from, what do you call that, the Muslims.
Okay.
On the next street was on Interville, and they was into the community. When I say they was into the community, they played our parents.
Right.
So if we act
somehow
up,
somehow the parenting, what happened? Well, how did they get there? How did you get there?
So back then, there was a lot of misconceptions. When I was born right after Martin Luther King was killed.
Okay.
I was born in 69. 68 is when he died.
Right.
He got killed, and it was a whole bunch of riot, I heard. And the misconception was that them at us, whites, and we at them.
Right.
And we took a stand. That's just what I'm hearing.
Right, but when you started
and so
getting into it,
when I
who
started
was
getting
that?
in, and when I started getting
Who gave you it?
it was, I had lost my brother.
Okay.
And got into, it was.
Y'all was getting high after the funeral or something? Or?
No. We was, I was the one that was selling it.
Oh, so you started off as a seller.
Yeah, I was the seller.
Okay.
And we got into a shootout with some Cubans.
Yeah.
This is back in '86.
Okay. So
And
after that, then you
yeah.
started getting into. That was your introduction. After that.
That was my introduction because I didn't have nobody to run to. I came from a dysfunctional family.
Right. So it was the trauma, and then from
Trauma.
there the drama.
Yeah.
And now this is the journey you
Now
start.
the journey, that's the journey.
Okay.
Where the journey was going now is that it was just too painful.
Right.
And I had to do something. And what happened was, I landed in Fitchburg.
All right. Hold on. We doing introductions now. We get past the mic to Angela, and give her a chance to talk about her introduction. Who introduced you? Did somebody introduce you, or you were just one of those people that, let me try this anyway. I don't need nobody to show me what to do. So you?
Yeah, like this journey. Just walking into everyday miracles, it saved my life.
But who introduced you to this life?
Myself.
Okay. Now, how did that go down?
It went. I didn't do no drugs, but alcohol just got involved. And the men that I got myself into, that I got myself involved with, and not very healthy relationships. Very bad relationships. Not very healthy. But I changed my life. I'm not drinking no more. I just came a long way on this journey.
All right, you can pass the mic.
Yeah,
Yo.
Mike, I'm gonna take you down south, man. I'm from the dirty south, baby.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Where I grew up at, man, it's called the Poker Bean Project. You know what I mean? Everybody, you know, the only person we can look at the pimps and the players. That's how we got to. We couldn't afford to go buy no liquor, no beer, nothing. So we gave the older guys that was in the project to go get our stuff for us. You know what I'm saying? So we looked up to them because those were the people we could identify with until the Nation of Islam came. Then I was the fruit of Islam for the honor. You know, it was 45 of us. We had on black suits, white gloves. You know what I'm saying? We was the fruit of Islam. You know what I'm saying? And he went through a whole lot of things, man. But this journey here, man, I wouldn't put it on nobody. What I went through and what I'm doing now, where I'm at now, I'm in a good spot, man. I mean, I got a lot of messages. I got a lot of things to tell people, but, you know, I'm taking one day at a time, man. Can't glorify this thing, you know what I mean? And the more we bring it back up, we glorify it, you know, to get high, to this and that. And sometimes, my mind is gone, you know. Mm-hmm. Some people can be gone. Shoom, they don't relapse, you know what I mean?
And have you seen that personally where people from a story, an incident, man. A record, or something, pick one of those different things and if you can share with us?
Let's see, Darryl Dawkins. You know Darryl Dawkins?
Yeah, the basketball player, NBA style.
All right, Darryl Dawkins. Played against him in high school, right?
Mm-hmm.
Big boy. But you know what? He indulged into that thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was chasing that ghost, you know what I'm saying? The crystal, you know what I'm saying? Smoking and hitting. And when he got to Philadelphia, he comes straight out of high school.
Yeah.
NBA. Well, them boys in Orlando, in Edenville, turned him out. Boom. Look at him now.
Yeah.
He got nothing.
Yeah.
All that money going to the waste. But the thing is, it was either get in or fit in. If you didn't get in, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know, you had to fit in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes things put in your hand that you didn't want in your hand.
Right.
You know?
But you turn that hand over and you put it in your pocket.
That's right.
All right.
Yes, sir.
And then the journey begins.
The journey begins.
All right, Angela, let's talk to you now. Let's talk about, you know, some of the things that happen in life is related to family. Sometimes your family is in it, sometimes it's not. Were your family in your life when this rode, or was you by your own self on the passenger?
They weren't in my life
Mm-hmm.
at all. At all.
Talk a little bit about that and how did that, mentally either bring you down or make you stronger because it wasn't nobody. You ain't had nobody run home to.
I didn't have anyone to run to. It was very hard. I wouldn't talk to my family. I didn't have them in my life. Now I have them in my life. And they're just, it was hard not to have them in my life and not call them, not have anything to do with them. It was just the alcohol and the men. Like,
the choices of men.
what are you doing, Angel? You're getting involved with the wrong men that were abusive, not very good. They weren't very abusive. They weren't good to you, and they took from you. They stole from you. They were not good.
It sounds like there was a lot of negatives. Did any positives in there? Was there any sprinkles of anything that, because you're here now, something carried you over? Was there something, a thought, a movie, or something that you seen, heard, or was a part of that said, you know what, let me stick to this, because at least if I fall, I can at least look at that and see. Was there anything like that for you?
I had to get out.
Okay.
I had to get out of these relationships, and they weren't healthy. But I kept getting into these relationships that were not very good for me, not very healthy, and I kept doing it and doing it and doing it, getting myself into these relationships that weren't healthy for me. And my family kept on saying, here we go with the guys again. Hi, Angela, when is it going to stop? Is it ever going to stop? Now, it stopped. And I worry. I don't worry about, like, it's going to happen again. I'm not going to relapse, and it's not going to happen. I'm just looking for somebody that would treat me right and treat me with respect. They didn't treat me with respect. They put their hands on me, and we started drinking, and they were abusive towards me. And now, this time I'm not fooling around this time, because it's not gonna happen. I just gotta put my foot down and
Keep it down.
keep it down.
Amen to that. All right, B, talk about you chat. What you got over there? You got some words for this?
Yeah, I heard you say, what was that breaking moment of experiences, right? I remember seeing this movie called Once Upon a Time in America with Robert De Niro, and I think it's Alan Wood, something Woods. And my mother at 12 years old, I came home, it was my birthday, and she said to me, you're the man of the house, after her leaving an abusive, ugly relationship. And I said, yeah, okay, I can do this. And I think I did it pretty good from where I came and how I view as being a man of the house, I got into selling drugs and got to, hanging out with people in the streets, and, and some of the guys in the streets, influenced me, and I used to see them with the nice cars. And the people that I grew up with back then were a lot of Jamaicans.
Okay.
And so it was this guy.
I see you got the Wallabies on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Style up.
And so it was this guy named Harry Hippie. Harry Hippie. And he called me Mecca. And I was in the park one day, and I asked him, why you call me that? He said, because you got always somebody looking for you and wondering what you're all about. You got everything always going on. And I looked it up. And that's what it means. All interest, all, everything that was going on that was about me.
Right.
And I used to sell drugs for him, and that's how I got that name. And I kept in my mother asked me at on my birthday, what do you want to be? And I remember watching that movie, Once Upon a Time in America. It was about this kid that got in the gang. So I told my mother, I said, I want to be a gangster. And I thought that's how I was going to protect my family, my sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
Because all my mother did was stay in the bedroom, and I have to watch my sisters and brothers. I had 2 sisters and 1 brother, and all I seen that goes in her door was pimps, players, wannabes or whatever, and I had to protect my sisters and brothers.
Right.
So that's how I got, into that mechanism and the lifestyle.
Okay. Now talk about that road on that lifestyle.
That
It
lifestyle.
gets bumpy and then you
At
jump
the
into
beginning,
recovery.
it was good at the beginning.
But you went from selling to using.
Yeah.
And
because
then
that's
you
my
on the
brother.
road to recovery. So let's jump ahead a couple of years, and now you in it. You
In
losing.
2000
What brings you out?
In 2000, I was getting ready to go back to South Bay in Boston. South Bay.
That's the prison. That's the lockup.
No, that's the gladiator school.
Okay.
Well, you don't have no prison there. You get into straight from the gate. You getting into a fight, and most of the time it's with the COs, and they beating you down.
Right.
Because back then there was a lot of gangs, and so they wanted to make sure that
They was the biggest gang.
Yeah, they was. Yeah, and so it was a lot of. I didn't want to go there.
Okay.
And so I got locked up for a warrant and was going back there. I didn't want to go back there. So one day, because my grandmother told me about, God. And she said, anytime that you need him, you better call on him. And that was the day.
Right.
I got on my top punk bunk. Lord, please. I do not want to go there. And so, I really meant that prayer.
Right.
And that was in year 2000? And I haven't touched crack cocaine in about 25 years now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yeah.
what's up, man? Let's get a little bit of words from you too, man. Now, you on your journey. You in the mix of the mix, and you about to make that parachute drop, and you think it's over. I'm about to. And what pulls you up to pull you out?
Man, I had a good run, man. You know what I mean?
Tell him, Mike.
He said, I ain't that guy.
We had a ball.
Had a ball.
Oh man, through my journey, man. I got 13 kids.
Let me grab that mic. I'm gonna grab the mic because you ain't using it.
I sure ain't. Man, I ain't got to talk with that man in my hand. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Hey, man. You know, man. South Florida, it's a different world, man, compared to up here, man.
Yeah.
These guys up here think I'm country, because I talk funny.
You are country.
I ain't country.
It's all right, though. I like to walk with you.
Ain't no country about South Florida.
Because he's country.
Ain't no
Don't call me country.
You call me country,
Yeah, you think I'm country dumb, huh?
Yeah, I just my nose big. I'm see, man.
Go ahead.
I just run, man. The thing is, man, I done been a lot of places, do a lot of things, man. Man, about government. You know what I'm saying? I don't care to talk about, because shit roll down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to keep that shit to the top. But what really got me, man? My son. I got a 13-year-old son, man. I'm 65. I got 13 kids. My youngest son, man, when his mother died, man, that shit fucked me up bad. Cause the only thing the town could touch with me was messing with her.
Right.
And some kind of way she got with a girl, man. No things. So my mom, I know who did it, right? But my mom said, baby, let God handle it. She said, baby, make me a promise. If I die before you, don't do nothing. You know what I mean? So, man, I've been in a, man, I had to go I was in a deep depression because every day I seen this dude, man, and I couldn't touch him. Because I made a declaration pyramid to my mom not to touch him, you know what I mean? But man, sometimes, and my son always asking me about, Mom, what happened? Man, you can't tell me nothing, man, but at the house, I got a shrine with her, you know, with pictures and everything about her, and I got pictures of my son free. But what really got me, man, was down, and I've been staying in Fitchburg, right? And they call me Crazy Mike.